What's up, everyone? Corey back again with another review for Xbox Tavern. This time I'm looking at an indie game that I didn't know existed. And don't you just love when you find those types of games and they turn out to be pretty good, pretty fun? Well, that happened this week, and that game is Nocturnal. So Nocturnal is a 2D side-scrolling linear adventure game where you are a soldier that's come back and to this island that used to be your home, I believe, and a mist has taken over, and it is your job to free the island. Now, this mist is dangerous. It will kill you if you're in it for too long. However, it cannot hurt you if you have the power of fire. So fire is going to be your friend in this game. You're going to be wielding the fire, which does run out. It does have a time limit. You're going to be taking this fire that you find and lighting lanterns, so you can always have a fire source near you if one is there. You're going to be using them to turn on some kind of mechanical feature like opening a door or activating a lift of some sort to get to places. So there's that. And then there's combat. You are going to be fighting enemies, and if you have fire, sometimes fire is necessary to hurt the enemies, but if you have it regardless, it will aid you in that combat. So I mentioned this is a side-scrolling adventure game. It's very linear. There's not a lot of backtracking for this game. There's a little bit of collectibles, but there's not much. They just kind of add to the story a little bit. Really, the main part about this game is the platforming and the combat. That is the two pillars of this game. So let's start with the platforming. The platforming feels fairly fluid. There are times when you're going to go a little bit slow, or like the jumping just seems a little bit off, but overall the platforming is decent in this game and I enjoyed my time with it. The combat, however, is very challenging at times, but it's not punishing. So there are checkpoints throughout, and if you die, which you will be respawned back at a checkpoint that was probably not too far back. So that is an excellent thing to have. To aid you in your combat abilities, there is a very small skill tree that you will find. I believe they're called ashes, some kind of currency in the game. In order to upgrade these skills at certain points in the game, certain statues in the game will allow you to spend those and will aid you by letting you increase your health, throwing daggers. So that's like an additional attack, doing a flame whip thing, which kind of is a different type of attack that you can get, and healing yourself. Now, all of the attacks and the healing cost fire. So again, that is a temporary resource that you have to keep charged, if you will. And using those will either spin the fire or they use the fire in their timed base. So you can't spam them. You have to wait for the dagger to come back. You have to wait for the charge to build up to do the other fire attack and things like that. Now, there is one more ability that you can spend your currency on, and that is the ability to have your fire extended as far as the time that you get with it. So it depletes slower, if you will. And it's going to be up to you on how you spend that. Now, with the checkpoint system, there is a save system, but the checkpoint system really kind of locks you into your choices. So there's not a ton of experimentation that you can do, depending on when you got your checkpoint and when you upgraded your abilities. And I only bring that up is when I came to like a boss battle and I thought maybe I should have spent my last skill point in this slot, not this other one, because I was struggling a bit and there's no way to go back on that. So that's something to keep in mind. However, like I said, it's challenging but not punishing. So after you do it a few times, learn patterns, things like that, I don't think you'll have too hard of a time with the game. There's really only a few challenges as far as combat go that I thought existed in the game. Otherwise, it was pretty nice and pretty fluid as far as going from this checkpoint to the next one and continuing on with the story, which is a pretty short experience. Overall, I think it took me about between 4 and 5 hours to complete the game, which I think was a very good time for this game. It didn't overstay its welcome and it did not end too soon, if that makes sense. So overall, the pacing of the game I thought worked, and the challenge was acceptable and not overbearing. So I enjoyed my time with this. And I also think it's a very pretty game. It's very nice to look at. There's a lot of contrast with the fire, with the light and the dark of the mist. and things like that. So it really hit a lot of spots for me. Not the best game ever, but definitely far from being a bad game. It's a decently good game, and that is a Nocturnal. So if you aren't already on xboxtavern.com, I implore you to go there. I'm going to have the final score for Nocturnal there, as well as many other reviews that me and the team put out each and every week. So go and check that out, xboxtavern.com. I'll be back with another video review soon, and I'll see you there.